Tampa, Florida. We've got Jason.
Yeah, just have a quick question. I want your opinion on something. I recently saw an interview with Christopher Hitchens, and it was shortly after the election. And he made a statement that I thought was really interesting about President Obama, and I had the same sort of hypothesis during the campaign and after he was elected. And what Hitchens said is that he believes that Obama might possibly be a closet atheist. He sort of cited a paragraph from his book, The Audacity of Hope, and I was just curious, what do you guys think about that possibility? And I know he's a self-identified Christian, and he's a member of that church in Chicago for 20 years and the whole Reverend Wright thing. But I just wonder what your thoughts are on that, and if you have any kind of
I think it would be nice to know that we have an atheist president, but I think it would be way nicer if we weren't in a situation where atheists have to be closeted. So in some sense, I don't think it matters that much.
Yeah, and you know, there are all different degrees of belief in this stuff, right? I mean, people, even people who clearly are believers, pick and choose which bits to interpret how, and so I think it's entirely possible that he is, in fact, what he says he is. But also, you know, during our dark 8 years of the Bush administration, I gave up trying to answer the apparently unanswerable question, is George Bush evil or merely incompetent? Because ultimately it didn't matter. Ultimately what mattered was what he was doing. And that's how I feel about Obama. Ultimately, I don't think it matters if he's a believer or an unbeliever as long as what he does in office is good.
Right.
Well said.
It would be nice to be able to claim him on our, you know, big list of atheist celebrities, but he is not gonna go on record. Certainly not while he's in the White House. If that slim chance that he might be an unbeliever happens to be true, he's not going to go on record. We're not going to get a payoff for that, right? So I think it's not worth worrying about.
It's kind of like Carl Sagan's Invisible Dragon, where he winds up by saying, you know, what difference, you know, what is the difference between an invisible, airless, or, you know, intangible, undetectable dragon and no dragon at all?
What's the difference between a Christian who doesn't believe that you have to be a Christian in order to be a good person, who doesn't believe any number of Old Testament and New Testament evils, but seems to be a pretty hardline humanist, and an atheist? I don't know. Maybe it's just a difference of whether they bother going to church or not.
Yeah, and I don't care if he does.
No, not particularly.
Yeah, I agree, and at least one good thing is that during the inauguration speech and you know, even in his books and whatnot, he does include non-believers when he addresses Christians and Muslims and whatnot.
That's right. That was historical.
I think that is a huge, huge step.
Yeah,
whether he self-identifies as a Christian or not.
I happen
We're going
to
have to wrap this up because we've only got a couple minutes.
Can I have one of those minutes?
Say your thing.
Okay.
Yes. Bye.
Bye. Thanks for calling. I happen to have been a supporter of Obama during the election, and after the election there were a number of celebrations around the country, and my wife got on the internet and found a local celebration and got us tickets to it, and we went, and it was a celebration by the Austin Hawaiian Society, people of Hawaiian descent living in Austin, Texas, and the whole party was about them claiming Obama as one of their own because he grew up in Hawaii, and they like searched the internet for all the pictures they could find of him in Hawaii, and the moment when he did the hang loose gesture in a video, and you know, all this stuff, and that's great. I mean, everybody wants the famous people that are well liked they want to be able to claim them as their own, and so I think it's perfectly natural.
Cute. I
to
heard
hope
that
for
people in, like, what was it, Obama, Kenya?
Yeah.
we're also happy because he had the same name.
Yeah, I mean, it's a perfectly natural impulse, but ultimately it's not.
It's meaningless.
Let's just, yeah.
In the garden, are you there? Are you there?